What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Yamcast. You might have noticed the digs look a little bit different. That's because we're in our brand new space. We're still getting things set up here, so bear with us if the production quality doesn't look exactly like you're used to seeing in the old space. The good news is there's no more V8 sounds, no more CrossFit gym bros running around, and no more crazy lighting coming through, and it's not hot in here. This is a big upgrade.
Big old upgrade.
Yeah, so stay tuned for a big shop tour video coming out later on the channel. We're definitely going to show you guys everything in the ins and outs of all this new space because it is big and cool. I love it here. So in today's episode, we are talking news from Can-Am. They're back to two-wheelers, and we've got some photos, and we've got a bit of a stipulation on these motorcycles we're going to talk about as well. Next up, it says here that Elon hates motorcyclists. Is that right, Spite?
Yes, it is. Apparently his cars are out to get us.
Oh, no. Oh, we got a lot to say about that then. And then also, a new model from Triumph on the horizon here, a baby Bonneville we might be talking about. We're also going to be doing the Q&A section. That's going to be a general Q&A from our Discord boys. Remember, if you want to join up on the Discord on the Yamcast and ask us questions live, join over on yamanoob.co, become a member, get access to the Discord, and then you can be a part of the whole Yamcast we got going on here. And then lastly, we've got the little bit of a contest. We're doing another good old-fashioned comment roast. We have the boys find us most ridiculous comments on YouTube. We're going to have a lot of fun looking at them. So sit back, grab a drink, grab some popcorn, whatever you're going to do. It's going to be a good one. Alrighty, Spite. What is the first bit of news you would like to chat about today?
I feel like we dive right on in with the Can-Am stuff.
Yeah.
This stuff is pretty cool.
So they made a Norden.
Made a Norden.
I'm just kidding.
Yep. It looks like a Norden cross with a Desert X.
It does. I'm not going to lie. When I saw the photo for this earlier, I did think it was some like new Norden model or some. I didn't.
They look like Huskies.
Yeah, they really look like Husqvarnas.
I like the emphasis on the Husqvarna part.
I have to say it right for all the Husky simps out there, as a guy who owns one now. But the big thing about these bikes is they're all electric.
Yes,
right?
They are all electric. So we actually covered this a while back. The news that Husqvarna.
See?
That Can-Am is coming back to the world of two-wheelers, which is where they started off, and then they made the three-wheelers because they lost the plot.
Yeah.
And now they're like, let's get back into motorcycles.
Yeah.
And they're
like 40 years later.
Yeah. And they're going to spend some $300 million on it right now, which is a lot. They're coming in hard.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. And there's a lot of, there's some cool pictures of these bikes out. And I kind of want to look at the structure first and foremost, because it's weird.
Yeah. We say here, if you look closely at that, it says the yellowish section above the skid plate is the battery. Okay, that's pretty common. And then it says the Rotax motor appears to be in the swing arm, a bit like some scooters. So the motor's back over there in the swing arm.
It's like some sort of shaft drive situation, it looks like. Either because it's not hub.
No.
Because that's on the outside, so it's got to be a shaft inside this swing arm.
Yeah.
Which means that the motor's right there at the pivot point, which, okay, sure. Mm-hmm. And then because I'm not seeing a chain final drive on there.
No, or a belt. So it looks like it's a direct shaft starting from the swing arm there. So interesting choice.
Yeah.
But the two models, we kind of have this like street going model and then a more like trail oriented thing, right?
Yep. So let me play this with no audio in the background just so we can have it running. It's a weird looking sort of, it really does look like a smaller Desert X to me.
Yeah.
This is all just, we're back to motorcycles.
Yeah. They're like, we did motocross real long time ago. Do you remember? We don't either. All right. Anyways.
But look at the size of the iPad that's on this thing.
That's stupid.
Like,
yeah.
Just look at how big that is.
Yeah, that looks a bit silly. It's also in a really weird aspect ratio. It's like ultra wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like some combination of like the Husqvarna Norden, the Svartpillen for sure, the Desert X a little bit. It's a very unique, I wouldn't say unique. It's a very unique proposition because it's all electric, but I don't know. It's not really what I thought it would look like, honestly.
Yeah, so I actually pulled up the original article because they had, this is what I thought. They had at least 3 motorcycles and maybe like a
Yeah.
3-wheeler situation.
Yeah.
But it looks like we're getting only 2 now. We're getting this street bike and this adventure bike situation.
Yeah.
What do you think about the world of electric adventure bike?
Well, all the adventure bike simps always tell me that range is king. They always talk about how it's like, my bike's got to do 200 miles on the tank because I never know when I'm crossing the Mojave. I'm like, yeah, like never. But anyways, so that would be my big concern about an electric ADV is what is the range? Because if you're actually going and doing adventure bike things, you need a pretty good amount of range. Or at least carry, I was going to say an extra fuel source, but in this case, it'd be a battery that you can't swap out. So.
Yeah, you would need to basically bring a bunch of solar panels and then just like sit around and wait.
So really, it ends up being like a heavy traily type of thing. Yeah, it's just going to be like you load it up on a trailer or a truck, you get to a destination, do a couple loops on an OHV, and load it back up. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So there's no information about these bikes, really.
Yeah, there's no specs. To give you a quote here, it says a press release claims the new models will have plenty of torque and power. Okay. Plus rapid charging times, easy to charge at home or at automotive standard level 2 charging stations. So they're being very, very vague.
Yes.
Very vague.
So what do you think we're going to see power-wise? Just seat of the pants guessing here.
I think the street model is going to come in about 80 or 90 horsepower.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
With the same biblical like 140.
Yeah,
foot-pounds.
whatever they claim. They're like, it makes 300 million foot-pounds of torque. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
How about and then I would wager it's probably going to be the same on the Origin. They look very, very similar.
Yes, I think it'll have basically the same power specs in terms of range, battery, torque, horsepower, all that good stuff. I really think the difference is going to be the front-end suspension and wheel and tire combination.
So I'm zooming in here.
God, it looks so much like a Husky. It's crazy.
Yeah. Look at... Is this a single-sided swing arm trail bike?
Oh, no. Is it?
Look, there's nothing here.
Well, the street one has a single-sided swing arm.
But there's nothing on this part. You see the whole tire.
Because I think it's using the same, what is it, like frame and kind of chassis and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's fitting the same battery, so I assume it's the same casing and everything else for it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's weird.
That seems like a really bad idea.
That seems like a bad idea. It also looks like it has just one disc up front.
Yeah, one disc up front on both of them.
That's kind of cheap.
Like, let's zoom in. Yep.
Yeah, one
disc on both.
One disc on both.
That is brave.
That's brave.
Really brave.
That's brave. A single-sided swing arm adventure bike.
Because if it was going to work, Ducati would have done it already.
Yeah. Yeah, the Desert X definitely has a dual-sided swing arm.
Okay.
Sure thing.
I guess this is for like really light trail work.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I mean, they've got it out in the Atacama or some in that photo, which it definitely will never be there. Very much a Photoshop job.
Yeah. Interesting setup. I really want to see. This is probably a story we're going to follow through the whole stage of, its release, because this is really an interesting move from Can-Am.
So really quick, on stream, someone corrected us and said GSs are single-sided. And what happened to those swing arms and shafts?
Oh, yeah, massive recall.
Massive recall, and they leak. So don't add us. Looks
also,
like they don't work for off-road.
Who's taking their GS off-road? Really? I tried. It sucks.
Yeah, come on.
But that's kind of all we've got now is some photos and some names.
Yeah, and I think, that's how it's going to be for a while because they're claiming 2024 for the kind of big splash. So this is very early stage. I mean, this stuff is all subject to change, too.
Yeah.
I remember EICMA 2019 is when... It might have been 2018 is when they had that Scrambler X concept that became the Desert X like 3 years later. And it ended up being super different than the original concept. So this could all change a lot too.
Yep.
Don't get your panties in a wad if you don't like what you see because it might change a whole bunch.
Yeah. Like they might realize that a single-sided swing arm is not the way to go for an adventure bike.
Yeah, and they also might realize that putting like a super wide, gigantic iPad on top of it is weird too.
Especially on a bike that you're going to drop. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting news from Can-Am.
But everything's getting electrified.
If the further electrification.
The further it goes. It does make me sad, if I can be completely honest. I'm very sad because, like, I know it's gonna have no personality.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's another one of these. Okay, whatever.
I'm really interested. Spoiler alert for those folks watching at home. We are getting a live wire, and we are going to throw it up against the Zero. I'm very interested to ride them back to back because the live wire is one that we said has some personality.
It does. Yeah, it sure does. It's the best electric bike I've ridden so far.
Yeah. So.
But moving on, we have this news that is quite a bit sad, but we do want to talk about it. We have this news that a self-driving Tesla ran into the back of a motorcyclist and incurred a fatality, unfortunately.
2 of them, actually. So,
2 of them. Oh, no, it was like a 2-up ride?
No, it was 2
he hit
incidents.
2 bikes? Oh, it was 2 different incidents.
2 separate incidents.
Oh, I only heard about the first one. I didn't know there was 2 of them.
2 motorcycle fatalities this month, including one this past weekend in Utah. At time of writing, this was July 28th, when a Tesla rear-ended a rider. These are basically the car was on self-riding or self-driving mode, and it just yeeted itself right into the back of a motorcyclist.
Dude, if I can just get on a soapbox really quick, and I know you'll agree with me, these self-driving Teslas, it was like the worst branding exercise that's ever been done to call these things like autopilot or self-driving, because these Tesla dummies get in the car and they hit autopilot and they're like checking their phone or drinking a beer or like not paying attention to what the is going on. I bet this was completely preventable.
Yes, 100%.
I bet it was complete. I bet if the dude just had his foot over the brake pedal,
like you're supposed to,
but it was completely preventable. I fucking hate these Tesla dummies. Hate them. There's so many of them here in Austin.
They're also
There's so many.
Insufferable too.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like Tesla people are insufferable.
My favorite thing that I have yet to have the chance to do, but I almost had it at my old job, is if someone has a Tesla, you just tell them that it's just like that little sedan that you have or whatever. You never call it a Tesla. Just make them lose their mind. I would love to do that one day because I hate Tesla people.
Yeah.
But this was really unfortunate, man. It's saying here the police report says the driver did not see the motorcycle and hit it from behind. Bullshit. You didn't see the motorcyclist, dude.
Yeah.
You didn't see him because you weren't looking at where your vehicle is traveling down the road. Come on.
So we have the bike here, which is really kind of grisly, and I don't like looking at it.
Yeah, hit a Sportster. That sucks.
A Sportster. The fact that these self-drive, there's going to be this teething problem because you have to teach the AI what to look for, right?
Yeah.
And there are so many different motorcycles and so many different like setups. Some of them are small, some of them are big.
Yeah.
The only way they can learn is by smacking into shit. And it's unfortunate because when you smack into a motorcycle, it's really, really bad for the rider.
Super bad, yeah.
And it's just, I really wish that people understood what self-driving meant.
Yeah, it means that your vehicle is going down the road the best way that it can, but as Tesla will tell you, because they're trying to cover their own ass constantly, it is not a completely autonomous vehicle that can just drive itself. You have to be in control of it, which is going to raise some interesting legal problems for the person who killed this motorcyclist.
Yes.
And both of these Teslas who killed these motorcyclists. It's going to be an interesting legal battle in court to be like, well, are you at fault? Right? I think you 100% are. You weren't paying attention to the road.
I think fault lies at the foot of the driver, but it's not. Tesla's not without blame.
Totally not. Yeah.
Because at some point, Tesla manufactured and designed the algorithm. They designed the AI, and it says here, Tesla disbanded its press office in 2020, so we will not be able to obtain a comment from the company because, of course, Tesla gets all of its press releases from Elon on Twitter.
Yeah.
So this is pretty scary in a world where more and more dummies are going to think that their car drives itself.
And as a motorcyclist, and I'm sure you feel this way because you've been hit by a car, the biggest fear I have is when I'm sitting at a light and being like, I hope to God nobody just rear ends me right now. Or I'm on a highway. I'm like, I hope nobody just decides to rear end me because it's going to be a really bad day for me.
Yeah.
I hate that feeling.
I did get rear-ended on the highway. It wasn't bad. It was bumper-to-bumper traffic, so the guy smacked the rear wheel of my Interceptor, and I almost dropped the thing, but like I was full stopped, and this dude was pissed because he got. I don't know what was going on. I kind of watched it happen while this guy was trying to get on 35, and he, had some misattributed slight to some other driver because he didn't get let on.
Oh my God.
And so he got real angry and was trying to catch this other guy to just like, be like, F you, motherfucker, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he ended up hitting me in the back, and it was going slow.
Yeah.
So it wasn't bad, but if it was any faster,
Could have been terrible.
It could have been real bad.
Yeah.
So we have to deal with enough to not have to worry about AIs not seeing us.
Yeah, like technology's already taking over the world. It doesn't need to try to actively kill us too while we're on the road.
Yeah.
Because, if some Tesla dummy with its automatic driving system hits me in my truck, I'm not going to give a shit. I have insurance. It'll cover it, whatever. If I'm on my bike.
Probably go under the truck at that point.
I'd hope so. But yeah, if we get hit on a bike, it's just not going to be great. But yeah, this is the thing. As people become more reliant on these technologies and they decide that they're going to be, safe in using them, you get more complacent with them. We all do this, right? Like when I got my truck, it has adaptive cruise control. I'd never had that before. And the first time that it braked for me as I was closing in the car, I was like, oh, I hit the brakes. And I was like, I need to let the system do its thing. And then I just trust it fully. If I'm just cruising on the highway, it just like brakes and stops and goes for me. The same thing with this stuff. People get more complacent with it. But, I hope no more motorcyclists get killed from this and somehow they update the AI to learn that there are small objects in front of the car too.
Yeah. And I don't see a world where it just magically doesn't.
No.
Yeah. It's really kind of nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But
and sobering too. You're just like, geez, especially here in Austin, there's so many fucking Teslas.
Yeah.
Now I see them all just like, are you going to try to kill me?
And they're all being driven by somebody who's just doing this.
Yeah.
They're just on their phone the whole time while they're driving.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Someone on stream mentioned this, and I want to make a point about it too. It says the mistake they use, John says here, the mistake they use is the wordage. Autopilot, working for Toyota, there are 4 pages in the owner's manual explaining how pre-collision and auto braking are just that, driver aids, but it's on you. But it's a branding and marketing problem where they called it autopilot instead of like assisted driving aids or whatever. Like if you call something that autopilot, people are like, oh, it's on autopilot. It just does it. That's not what it does. Yeah.
It's like when you get in a plane and you turn on autopilot, all it does is hold speed, direction, and altitude.
Yeah.
Right? That's basically what your car is going to do.
Exactly.
It's not like you are like, okay, I'm at my house. Get me to Taco Bell.
And it's just like, do, like, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Well, somber and sobering news here for motorcyclists. So if you guys are on the road, look out for those Teslas. But moving on to something a little bit more exciting, there's a new baby Bonneville.
Yeah, so this is cool. We talked about this one a little while back, which if we scroll down, we can see the article we mentioned, which was the Scrambler situation. Looks almost like a Royal Enfield engine in here.
Yeah, it does.
With the single pipe coming out the side. Looks like it's going to be a single cylinder.
Yep. Cut those costs, baby.
Yep. I'd like to point out the fact that this here is calling it exclusive spy shots reveal Triumph's all-new family of UK-developed sub 500cc bikes. It's close to launch. This ain't no spy shot.
That's definitely a promotional shot.
Yeah, these are all promos. So
like, what kind of spy shot is like perfectly lit and taken with the DSLR?
Look at the depth of field here.
Yeah, like, come on, man. It's not a spy shot. Like, the last photo is literally a glamour shot.
Yeah. These are not spy shots.
Not a spy shot. Maybe leaked promo shots, we could say.
Yeah.
But, so let's take a look at this thing. We've got upside-down suspension. We've got the single pipe coming off of it, single cylinder, single-sided brake. I'm seeing a chain drive. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
It is like a little baby Bonnie.
Yeah, I mean it's looking pretty cool. I like the tank shape on it too.
It's a handsome bike.
It looks like a Bonnie and a Trident 660 smushed together.
Yeah, it does.
You know, it's like it's taking the best styling cues from both of them. Yeah, that's very Trident 660. Same with the tail here.
Yeah,
but it's Bonnie from the engine down.
Man, I think if Triumph can nail this and get the price right, they're gonna sell so many of these bikes. Dude.
That's the one thing
They'll sell so many of these bikes.
They just don't have they don't have a true proper beginner bike. They're like Harley Davidson. You know, yeah, they have the 660, but if you're just a perfect like brand new beginner,
not exactly right.
No, it's a you know, and of course, when you get it to 600 miles, it becomes a street triple.
Yeah.
So you know, you really got to be nervous about that one.
So the cool thing about this is it looks like they're going to take this platform and make it all kinds of different bikes, little scramblers and roadsters and maybe a bobber of some sort. And I think that is the right move. Look at what Royal Enfield's doing with the Meteor 350.
Absolutely.
Triumph wants a piece of that pie, dude. Triumph absolutely wants a piece of that pie.
And it's a nationally known brand, or internationally known rather. They're going to be doing it, of course, out of Bajaj.
Yep.
Which...
I mean, totally fine by me. They already make the Duke 390s and stuff and everything else.
They're a ton of fun. They're great.
Yeah. I like how the engine on the side still has like the retro kind of air-cooled fins and the cases. It looks like an old-school bike. Yeah. Like if you didn't know anything about motorcycles, you'd think that's some cool retro bike or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Definitely a good-looking little bike here. Looks like they're saying the capacity around 400 to 450 cc's. Which is interesting. I'm thinking it seems like it would make more sense to be right around like 498 cc or something like that, right up to the 500.
Interesting.
And then because then you can get a single that's right at the 47 horsepower. A2. You know,
because this thing's going to be lower compression and a little bit more chill. You know, it's not going to be a Duke 390. It's going to be more of like an old school single cylinder.
Yeah, it's hard to see. Maybe if we get an angle from the front, that looks like I can't tell if that's a full-on radiator or an oil cooler.
I can't either. I would imagine this is liquid cooled. I mean, almost all of the Bajaj motors nowadays in the Duke 390s and those things, those are all liquid cooled. If we can take a look,
I think I see a fan shape right there.
Yeah, let's see it from the front. Maybe we can spot the radiator.
Yeah, so it's a big radiator right there.
That's definitely the radiator. Yeah.
So I think that's a radiator, not a oil cooler.
Yeah, it's too big.
Although, I don't see a cap.
I don't see a cap, and I don't see hoses coming out of it.
I could see this being oil cooled.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Let's see what the side shot looks like. This side spy shot where this guy just so perfectly stood right there for you.
The spy shot, yeah. It's on sport-going tires, it looks like. That's kind of interesting. It's not on, like, retro scrambly tires or anything like that. That's like sport rubber.
Janky rubber.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking little bike.
Yeah. Again, I think if Triumph nails the price, what do you think, sub $6,000?
I think, that would be perfect.
Man, sub $6,000, they will not be able to print enough of these out fast enough.
Especially if they get it right at that 47 horsepower number.
Yep.
Then people are going to be like, oh, but it's not, it's not like slow like, other small bikes. It's, Ninja 400 power. Mm-hmm. And you're going to get a lot of torque because it's a nice
and it
big
looks
thumper.
Really handsome and nice, too. Like, that's the thing. A lot of people love this style, but then they don't want to go and spend $11,000 on a Bonneville. But you'd get basically the same Bonneville style for like half the price probably.
So here's a question. With the advent of super cheap bikes from China and the tech that's on the KTMs, what do you think we're going to see tech-wise on this bike?
I think you're going to see the Bonneville like small LCD dash and an analog display.
Yeah.
No tack, speedo, small LCD screen. That's what I would think.
Quick shifter?
I don't think so. Not on this thing.
Probably not.
No, not on this. I think non-adjustable suspension, preload only in the rear.
ABS.
ABS for sure, standard.
Maybe TC?
Maybe, yeah. But I was going to say, I thought where you were going to go with this is like, in a world where you have a sub $6,000 entry-level Triumph, do you buy a Royal Enfield?
Yeah.
Do you buy a 650? Because that 650 with the pipes makes a pretty good sound now. Video coming out on that later, by the way.
I would. It's hard to say without riding it. This bike looks kind of small.
Yes, it does look diminutive.
So in that sense, I would probably prefer the Royal Enfield because it's a more roomy motorcycle for somebody my size.
Yeah.
I also like the hot roddy nature of the Royal Enfield with what's
Fair.
going on in the aftermarket.
Fair.
So, I mean, also the Royal Enfield paint schemes are so cool.
Yeah, they are pretty cool. Triumph would have to do something like that for this bike too. Make it really zany, equal to cool paint schemes. I wonder what the weight on this thing would be.
Looks light.
I think it'd be really light, which would be a big kind of jab to the Royal Enfield because that bike's kind of a porker.
It's a real porker. What do we get it down to? Like
I think it's 456.
Yeah.
456 we got it down to. It's still heavy for its size.
That is so heavy.
For its horsepower, it's pretty heavy.
Didn't the R1 weigh 441 pounds?
It did, yeah. Come on, you compare a Royal Enfield to an R1.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
They're punching in the same weight class.
Yeah, but we are very excited about these, and we hope that they come to America because I think this would make a great beginner bike giveaway sweepstakes.
For sure.
I'd love to get one of these. But folks, we're now going to move on to the Q&A portion of the podcast. Stay tuned. All right, folks, it's now time for the Q&A. We've asked the boys over on Discord to submit us some fun questions. I have a feeling we're going to get some very bizarre questions over here today. We'll have to take a look at that. And remember, if you want to join up and ask us these questions, join over at yammynoob.co, become a member, and you will get access to our Discord server, 10% off on the store, 10% off on Twisted Road Rentals, all kinds of great stuff by being a member over there. Plans as little as $5 a month will get you started, and you can rack up entries to win our giveaway bikes. Without further ado, let's begin.
Alrighty, so we're gonna dive right. Oh boy!
Wow, holy crap! Let's go, baby.
First question from Survivor Kid.
Survivor Kid, what are your thoughts on two-piece race suits for someone on a budget and only going 3 or 4 times a year to the track? I think it depends on who your track day organization is and if they allow for two-piece suits. Some of them don't allow it, and I personally think that a one-piece is going to provide much more protection. What do you think, Spot?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. I also like the feel of, because just, you know, you're totally encased. There's no like separation.
But for the street squid on a budget,
yeah.
If you got to look it up though, if they allow it for your organization, that could be a good option.
Yeah.
But you got to look it up.
I mean, if I was just going to the drag strip, I'd do a two-piece race
Oh
suit.
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because then you're just all you're gonna do is slide like that. As long as you have a good zipper, you're good. Next up, we got Natty Lightsaber.
Natty Lightsaber. Which DOT track tire have you had the best of luck with? Dunlop Q4, Cup 2, or Pirelli TD? And will you ever race sidecars? So I've had my best luck with Dunlop Q4s. As far as a DOT tire, I feel like they are just the cream of the crop. They work really well. They last pretty great. I was able to cut up some really competitive lap times with the Q4. There was a lot more in that tire. I'm not nearly skilled enough to max out a Q4, and I had a lot of fun with that one. But the Pirellis they make a good case for them too. I'm bougie and stupid, so I run slicks on my track day bike for whatever reason. But I just like the feel of them. Spite, any feedback on this?
Nope.
All right, moving on.
Ember Wolf is next.
Also, and back to the other guy's question, not racing sidecars.
No.
All right, what is your least favorite manufacturer, but what is your favorite bike from them? 0 excluded. Oh, fun question.
This is good.
This is a good one.
Least favorite manufacturer.
Least favorite manufacturer.
I'm going to have to think about that one.
I think, I don't mean to kick the kid while he's down, but I do think it's Harley. I mean, Harley probably is my least favorite. I don't like many of their bikes.
Funny thing is, I don't either. I really like a handful of their bikes.
Yeah.
What Harley do you? I'm assuming it's
okay. Hold on. No, hold on. Like, it's too easy of an answer. I honestly think Suzuki is one of my least favorite. Honestly, there's barely any Suzukis that I would buy. But what would I get from them?
You already have a Busa.
I have a Busa, so I can't get that. I'd get a DRZ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fun.
It's a good bike. It's a fun bike.
My least favorite manufacturer, man, that's tough. Of the big four, I think my least favorite is probably Kawasaki.
Wow.
I don't really love Kawasaki because they have a lot of just really milquetoast, mediocre motorcycles.
Yeah.
Nothing that's truly exciting until you get to like the ZH2.
Yeah. That Z900 is pretty good now.
It's fine.
It feels very mass produced. It
Yeah.
feels just like bike. You're like,
Yeah.
okay.
In every single comparison, I would take the MT-09.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know, so
I bet
would,
that new one is so good. I still haven't ridden it yet. Oh.
Yeah, I really think Cowie is probably my least favorite, and then I have a KLR 650. But
Yeah.
it's the full Chad meme where it's like our bike sucks, we know situation.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I just like it.
I love that we both picked like dorky, dumb dual sport bikes because we know that they're the most fun.
Yeah. Next up, we got Irish Trash 5.
Irish Trash, how do you feel about the new Monsters fitness compared to the classics? So I'll tell you this. I don't know what fitness means. Maybe it's coolness or stuff like that. I don't know how jacked the new Monsters are. Or maybe the lack of weight and stuff like that. I'll tell you this. Our newest employee, Kevin, has a Monster. He's got the brand new one with the new 937 in it. That's a sweet bike. Yeah. I heard him take off today. I was like, that thing sounds nice.
Yeah.
He's got the Termies on it.
It's a good-looking bike. I think style-wise, I would take like the 696 Monster. I really like those bikes.
The old school trellis, yeah.
I like how they just made the tank dents because the handlebars would just whack into the tank, and the Ducati was like, well, let's just take a hammer and smack dents into it, and we'll just cut it out, you know? But the new one is going to be so much better.
It's so much better. That's the thing. The new one's so much better, but the Ducatista in me would take the old school Monster 1200 with the trellis frame and the air-cooled engine. Boy. Yeah, that one rips.
Next up, we got Skids 75.
I am contemplating buying a Ducati. I know Yam owns one. It's a Super Sport 950S. I'm coming from a street twin. Is it better to look at a XSR 900 or perhaps the Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX? Thanks. Interesting. So clearly trying to do kind of a sport touring thing, right? The XSR isn't quite a sport touring bike, but I think out of those three, I would take the XSR. I think that's a really sweet bike.
Yeah, the XSR is going to like tear your head off.
I'm a stupid squid, so
fast.
I don't know. I think the Super Sport 950 is very meh.
So the Super Sport 950, if I'm not mistaken, that's an old one.
It's an older one. And the weird thing about it is it still has the trellis frame, it's covered up in plastics, and it uses an old version of the 937, I think.
So the Super Sport 950, so it's actually like the Ducati Super Sport. It's not the old one. It's the new Super Sport.
Oh, they made a new one. Okay, I'm not up to date on this.
I thought it was like the old one.
Oh no, not the old one. But they have updated this one because I haven't seen this version yet.
This one still just feels like the Dad Panigale situation.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're looking for just a really fun, nice street bike, go with the XSR, man.
For sure. If you're not trying to like crush big distances, which the Super Sport with the panniers or the 1000 SX could do, get the XSR. You're not. I mean, you could do it on the XSR too. Like, who gives a shit?
I would be better on the XSR than on the Super Sport 950. The Super Sport 950 is like the VFR, but a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really want to do a big tour on the 950.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Battle.
Hey, Spite, have y'all ever thought about hosting a track day meetup for all the baby yams to meet and have some fun on the track? So my brain is screaming, liability issue. If you've never ridden on track before, the skill sets are going to be vastly different. I mean, we've got guys on the Discord server right now who are like basically club level all the way down to never been to a track day before. So you can't have those people all at the same time, you know, doing that. Also, tracks are like really out in the middle of nowhere here in Texas. So getting people to go out there, even if you're local to the area, is kind of hard. So I think it's maybe a little tough.
I feel like what we could do as a middle ground is do a drag day.
Yeah, we could do that.
Little River Drag Strip is actually, it's right up north. Well, right up. It's an hour north of town. But drag racing is just, can you leave a stoplight?
Yeah.
It's not hard.
It's very simple.
And it could be a fun afternoon.
Yeah.
So.
Run what you brung. Who's the fastest? That's always fun.
Yeah.
And then everyone's going to be like, why don't you have the Turbo Busa here? And I'm like, because I value my life.
Yeah, no.
I'm not doing that.
I still love how the track record was like 4 seconds.
It was so stupid.
Yeah, just lightning fast Gixxer of some kind.
Remember, we would clear it, and we're like, can you imagine doing that in 4 seconds? And it was like, no.
Yeah,
he trapped it at 200, an eighth of a mile. An eighth of a mile.
At 200 miles an hour.
Insane.
Okay, Heathen Jesus is next.
I would take they give you the slip for your time. I would take that and just frame it.
Yep. It'd be like, I have peaked.
This is the fastest. Fuck off. All right, this guy says, looking for a small displacement bike to serve several purposes. I want something to act as my beginner track bike that I can also commute with and hopefully have a fuel sipper, and that I can just wheelie around town everywhere. Thinking about an RC/Duke 390 or Ninja 400. What's the best bike for all those things? It's Duke a Ninja 400. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how track oriented. I saw the beginner track bike thing, and you can grow so much with the Ninja 400, and it's also a Japanese bike, so it's going to be more reliable than the Duke. Let's be real, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's just be honest. Do you think Duke?
The street silliness in me, the street squid would be like, yeah, just take the Duke because it's fun. It's got a lot of features.
Yeah.
You can disable the rear wheel ABS, which is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, if you really wanted to get silly with it, you could throw like a slight knobby on it.
Yeah.
And just goof around off road.
Definitely you can. It is a more flexible bike. Yeah, fuck it. Do the Duke 390. But really the answer is SV650. Moving on.
All right.
Jerd here says, hey, Yam and Spite, do you think it would be worth it to do a video review of this Rabconda tire changer for the channel for us aspiring garage mechanics? I don't know what that is. Let's take a look at the Rabconda tire changer. It's $600. Okay. Looks like a little mini Nomar type of thing.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you this: I had a Nomar and I used it once, and I said, "F this," and I didn't want to change my own tires ever again. I know that a lot of people have great success changing their own tires. I actually used to do it myself too on the Daytona to save myself some cash, but I don't want to do it anymore. Honestly,
no.
I think it's annoying.
Yeah, no. I would just take my rims off and take it somewhere.
Yeah.
Full Metal Corgi is next.
Full Metal Corgi, would you rather do a 1,000-mile 2-up trip on a 50cc moped or do the same trip with the base model Zero, i.e. no extended range or fast charger? I would do it with the Zero. That sounds fucking awful to do 1,000 miles 2-up on a 50cc moped.
Yeah, you would get nowhere.
That's horrible. And for the record, my EV bike uses non-flammable batteries and has level 2 charging. Excellent. I think Full Metal Corgi is doing his own electric bike build.
I mean,
I love how you go up and it says,
non-flammable.
That's your problem.
Lorcus Porcus is next.
Lorcus Porcus says, currently on my first bike, the Husky 401, and I've been riding the shit out of it in just about anywhere I can get it. Can't decide whether bike number 2 is going to be a track toy or a trail toy. What arguments do you guys have for these two very different disciplines? For reference, I live in western North Carolina, i.e. plenty of both twisties and trails.
Supermoto.
I think dual sport. I mean, the 500, dude, it can get around the corners. That bike's so much fun in the twisties.
And then you just put sumo wheels on it.
Yeah. And then you can go rip up car tracks and have so much fun.
Get a Supermoto.
Yeah. If you can float it for the money, get a 500. You will not regret it. It's a ton of fun.
So I'm going to do the airbox next week.
Oh, we got to do the
690
video.
back.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do big boy versus little boy.
Yeah.
And see which one's more savage.
Yeah. I wish I had Supermoto wheels for that test. That would be so much fun.
Because you have ridiculous knobby tires on your bike right now.
I do, yeah. I do.
Okay, Ryan Ashley is next.
For the Yamcast, during an older video while living with the KTM Duke 390, you said 6th gear was worthless. Therefore, can you ride the bike faster at a higher PM in 5th gear, and 6th gear is not much difference? This is a deep cut. Do you remember this on your living with the Duke?
Okay, so my guess is what ended up happening was that one is a long time ago.
That was like over 2 years ago.
So if I remember correctly, what I mean by 6th gear being worthless is there was no roll-on power at like 70 miles an hour, which means it was probably just like a massive overdrive gear to keep the vibrations down. So you could probably you could get to a higher speed in sixth gear.
Yeah.
But you would get there slower than if you geared down to fifth.
Yeah. And also, it's a Duke 390. Top speed is not really a big concern.
No. So I just, that was just probably an observation on it just not having passing power in sixth. This is Somatic is next.
Somatic, is it normal to think that if I fall off my bike, one of my feet might get lopped off? Well, are you wearing proper riding boots is my question.
Yeah.
If you're wearing like Vans slip-ons, then yes, I would also worry about that.
Also, like parts of your body aren't just going to fall off.
No, they don't. I have proof. They don't just fall off. They get real mangled up, but they don't normally get lopped off.
Yeah.
It's because you need cutting. You need something to cut to lop it off, and typically it's just impact.
Yeah.
You'll squish parts of your body, and it won't feel good. It won't feel good, but yeah.
The only time I've seen things cut off by motorcycles are fingers because they were cleaning the chain with it in gear. Never, ever, 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 ever do that.
Don't do that.
That's so dumb. Ride Red is next.
Ride Red. Finally hitting the tail of the dragon next week. What U.S. trails/tips are still on your bucket list? I think you want to do
I want to do the tat.
The tat.
I want to do the tat so bad.
Yeah. It's a good one.
I am dying to do that.
Yeah.
Don't know when I'll ever have time, but I'm gonna do it at some point.
Yeah.
I also really want to do the full PCH. I want to go all the way up to PCH.
How sick was that in Malibu?
Oh my God, it was incredible.
Such a good road.
But when you get further out and you're not like in the LA area,
Big Sur and stuff, it's amazing.
I'd like to do that on a dual sport where I can get off on some trails because there's so many cool trails up there.
Yes. That would be a killer trip. I think for me, I would still love to try the Colorado BDR one day. That's a really good one. Probably on something like a 500 or a 450.
Has a great Black Bear Pass?
I think so, yeah.
Because that's the one where because at one point I was talking with Shade Tree about doing a tat, and he sent me this thing of Black Bear Pass of a Jeep just falling off the edge of it.
No thanks.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
Yeah, there's a guy on our Discord server, Mark, who actually completed it on his T7, and by completed it, he literally had to drag it down certain parts because it's just like these big ledges that just never stop, basically. Mm-hmm. And on a big heavy bike, that might be a bit challenging.
Yep. Kagamayazen.
If there was a Yamanoob video game, would you prefer to a racing sim or a Mario Kart style / arcade style racing game? I think I would prefer the Mario Kart style. It's just more fun and goofy.
Motorcycle racing sims are so hard. Dude. Yeah, they're so hard.
Yeah, this is not really my thing. I play games to relax and just goof around. Yeah. I like the Mario Kart energy.
Breadneck.
Hello, Spite and Yam. I'm currently riding from the inside of my bike, so I guess I'll keep the question topical. I've done a slip-on, and I'm currently installing a performance air filter, and after, I'm probably going to tune the fueling. When you guys get the giveaway bikes, do you have an order you usually tackle for performance mods? Where should I go next? Brakes, ? Interesting. So he's asking, I think it's an FZ8. That's a good bike. He's basically asking, is there an order in which we go about doing our performance mods?
The order they come into the shop.
Yeah. Well, for your personal bikes, do you have an order that you go in? I normally go for an exhaust, then tune. I've never even done any airflow or air intake mods on all my bikes.
It all depends on what exhaust I'm going with, right? So for the SMCR, I had to do a tune right away because I removed it was basically cat back, or no, it was headers back. Yeah. So I didn't have any back pressure anymore, so I had to do a tune. Then once I always think of this in like the Sportster scenario, right? Because that's the one that I'm probably the most familiar with, just builds wise. It's exhaust, then it's air, then it's engine work. Because that's how Harley does its stages. Exhaust, air filter, cams, bore. Yeah. That's how I normally work.
Because there's no point in doing engine work if you're running a stock exhaust and like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've done on my race bike. I did a full exhaust system, and then the tune and the flash, and then that was it, basically. And then all the other underlying supporting mods. But it depends on your application of what you're trying to do with the bike.
Yash is next.
Is it worth going to Sturgis if you've ever gone?
I think if
you've never. Yeah. Well, I've never been, so I can't say. You've been to both Sturgis area and Sturgis Rally.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you mean Rally when you say Sturgis, because that's what most people mean. You got to do it once. You got to do the Rally once. Then never go back to Sturgis during the Rally, because the energy during the Rally is really cool. It's really cool seeing all these bikes coming from all around. And like there was just a random Turbo Hayabusa that was stretched with the 2 chain situation going on. And you know that motherfucker rode that motorcycle in.
Yeah.
Which that is so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
The problem with the Sturgis Rally is that it's a lot of guys that fancy themselves riders that are really bad at it.
Yeah, I think
really
you kind of gave me some sobering kind of pieces of news from when we were up there, where like you saw like kind of bodies draped over like
So
cloth and stuff.
I was on Iron Mountain, which is unbelievable. If you've never been out to Iron Mountain, it's worth going. But there was a guy who went down on Iron Mountain, and he was behind the sheet on the side of the road because it takes forever for paramedics to get out there. So it's not good. Also, when I was out there, Queen Sit, who was there, she had a camera going, and this bike went flying past her on the side of it. Was just tumbling down the road with the passenger on the back. The rider had just like yeeted off the bike,
man,
and this bike goes sailing past her. It cleared her by what looked like a foot, maybe.
Yeah, it's a bit of a sketchy environment.
Yeah, but the Sturgis area is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. When I was up there for the ADV rally, there's this road called Vanacker Canyon, and if you know, you know. I got to run Vanacker from the top to the bottom with nobody in front of me.
Nice.
No cops, no nothing. And again, if you know, you know. It was unbelievable. Yeah. So it's worth going at least once. Off-roading is unbelievable there too. Stupid millennials.
I'm debating on an NC750X DCT as a second bike buy. Have you guys ever ridden the NC700 750, and what are your thoughts on automatic / DCT bike for off-road / ADV riding? Let's not kill this man, okay? Let's compose ourselves, gather ourselves here. I've never ridden an NC700 750, and I think that an automatic / DCT bike for off-roading is not good. I'll say that. I don't know what else to say.
If I'm going to try to be nice here, if you want it for commuting, okay, sure, fine. If you want it for anything else, no.
It's not an off-road machine at all.
No.
The NC, not even for gravel, I wouldn't even do it.
No. It kind of looks like one, maybe sort of a little if you squint, but I would never use it off-road.
No.
Infernal Saxon.
What do you think Indian might do to counter Harley's entry into ADV?
I don't know. I don't think they want to counter because
I
they're
don't
already
think they do either.
Crushing them with the FTR. I mean, the FTR.
Well, that the bobber sales, my God.
Yeah, the Scout, the bobber, the FTR, they're whooping up on Harley in that segment. The Sportster S is really trying to retake the crown and riding them back to back. The Scout has nothing for that Sportster.
Yeah,
man alive, is it fast?
Yeah,
but it's a tiny, weird little bike because Harley only made it to look like an engine and wheels.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't think they care to counter the ADV thing.
Yeah.
Because you have to come so correct with an ADV bike.
Yeah, they probably worked on the Pan Am for like 5 years.
Yeah. Nikki W.
Nikki W. Hey, guy, I'm going to take my MSF course in September, and I want to get an Engine 400. I'm a little concerned about the different bike for myself throughout my entire riding life because I'm very short, only 5 foot. Also, what are your thoughts on Honda Shadows? My husband is also doing the course, and that's the bike he wants. So Ninja 400 for someone who is 5 foot tall. That is pretty short, I'm not going to lie, but I think it can be done. You just need to learn the 1 foot down technique and lean the bike over. It's a pretty lightweight motorcycle, so as long as you can get 1 foot kind of on it, you can then clutch away and power out and ride the bike with both feet on the pegs. What do you think, Spide?
You could also look at an R3.
Yeah, the MCO3 is a super low seat height. R3, yeah.
Super low seat height.
Yeah.
Those are great options. It is slower for sure, but you're not going to have one bike for your whole life.
Nope, you certainly won't.
As far as the Shadow,
I don't have much of an opinion on them, honestly. I don't know much about them.
I don't like them.
I think they're very milquetoast, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like them. I think that they're like, they're kind of like if the Vulcan went chrome.
Yeah. But it has a V-twin though, right, at least?
It does have a V-twin, okay, so it's got that going for it.
That's something.
It's like the Suzuki C50s.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Emperor DD.
So I've heard that CFMoto just launched the 450 RS, which is using an actual 270-degree crank parallel twin, pushing similar specs to Ninja 400, but has tech up the wazoo while being cheaper. What are your thoughts on it? So I have not seen this bike or heard of it, but that sounds pretty good to me. Cool.
So we covered the CFMoto RS a while back on the Yamcast, and it looks really sharp.
Yeah.
I think what CFMoto is really doing right now is they're pushing this styling exercise to be like, look, our bikes are super, super cool looking.
Yeah. And cheap.
So many people, when we did the CFMoto little 300, they got so mad that it was Chinese spyware, blah, blah, blah. If you think you are interesting enough to the Communist Party of China, you have some serious issues you got to work out. They don't care what you're doing.
No.
Ant517.
You know what's funny is the criticism that would have been fair that I didn't see much of is China's position on intellectual property law.
Yeah.
Where they very clearly just copy and don't give a at all about what they do. But I didn't see that much. Yeah, a lot of people were like, they're going to take my data. I'm like, it's not really worth it.
They already have your data.
They already have it. They don't give a about that. All right, it says, any suggestions for a phone mount for an R3? I haven't been able to find anything that would work.
A rock form.
A rock form. We have one back there, but I can't pick it up. Rock form can do a stem mount right there in the middle of your R3. If I remember correctly, on the triple tree on the R3, there's a small hole in the center one that you could probably sink that sucker into.
Yep.
If not, you could do something else.
Yeah.
Something will work from rock form.
Yep. And
if there isn't a hole, you can maybe drill one out. I don't know.
Just get a different triple tree bolt.
Yeah, could do that
that'll
too.
Be open.
Yep.
And we say that obviously because sponsor the channel, but I actually genuinely really like mine. So,
yeah.
That's why I recommend it. Big Mac 4911.
Hey guys, do you think riding pants are necessary for street riding? I keep thinking about it, but never quite end up biting that bullet. Well, we have a difference of opinion on this, right? I typically wear riding pants that have at least some level of slide protection. I don't have any impact protection on my pants just because I don't like to be that bulky when I ride on the street. But you don't.
I would recommend that you do, though. I am always taking a risk when I do it.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to admit that it is not the safest way to ride a motorcycle. Yeah. So I would recommend you give it a shot. I did wear riding pants for a while, but I like my jeans to be kind of baggy, and they were always really tight fitting. I don't like that feel. So if I find some baggy ones, I definitely would wear them. Road Rage 810.
Hey, Spite, why am I addicted to the CP2 engine? We're actually building a go-kart around the CP2 drivetrain from a wrecked MT-07. Well, that's fun. You're addicted to it because it has a wonderful exhaust note, and it's a really spicy little engine. It's great. Yeah. Yamaha did a great job.
Yeah. Best cheap, accessible cross-plane twin out there.
No doubt.
Sleeper Simulant.
Oh boy. Hello, Yam and Spite. First things first, I want to thank you for the content you put out. Your videos are one of the main reasons I got back on a bike after nearly a 10-year hiatus. I ended up getting a Benelli Leoncino Trail for my first brand new motorcycle after watching your videos on it and didn't want anything super powerful as I got back into riding. That being said, I already feel like I've outgrown the power and will be trading it towards something bigger next riding season. The biggest issue I'm finding now is I can't seem to find bikes like an XSR 900 or a Z900 that isn't marked up to Eurobike costs since we are in a seller's market. They are the same price or even more as a Duke 890, Monster 950, or Street Triple RS. Are you guys seeing the markups on Japanese bikes down your way as well? I understand that heavy demand is the reasoning behind it, but I refuse to pay over MSRP for a new bike, and the markups really turn me off of looking at Yamaha or Kawasaki. So first of all, thank you so much for checking out the channel and doing all that good stuff, and glad to see you're back on a bike. And did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Was
That
it
was
a
my
door?
foot.
Oh, I thought it was a door opening. I was like, we're getting robbed.
Yeah, no, it was my foot.
Okay. So yes, we have seen a huge markup in Japanese bikes. There's a freaking meme of it at this point, is the R6 that I saw online that was like 2 years old, and they wanted 15 grand for it. I was like, are you out of your mind? And they haven't made enough of the XSRs and the Z900s, and now people want them, and now they're getting priced up to hell. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's just because everything's super expensive. So if you want, you ought to look at a Suzuki Gixxer 750 or Gixxis 750.
That's a good value.
You're going to be able to get that one dirt cheap.
Yes, you can, and it's basically just as good. But, I mean, if you're looking at those prices and you're willing to pay them, I mean, you can't go wrong with a Street Triple or a Duke 890. My God, those are great bikes. Really good bikes.
Jazz the 90s Derg.
I picked up a 1990 FJ 1200 as a first bike. Real beautiful thing. Problem is, everyone in my life seems to hate that. So I got another bike, a 1990 Honda NX 250. Great bike, but really trashy. Under pressure to flip the FJ, but don't want to. How do I proceed? Also, Yam needs to come try some of my old Hondas from 80s to 90s when the Honda wasn't boring. So he's asking, how do I flip it? Is that what he's saying?
He doesn't want to flip it.
Under pressure to flip the FJ, but don't want to. So how do I proceed?
Just don't.
Just don't. It's your life, dog.
Yeah.
That's it.
There you go.
Just don't do it. It's like anti-Nike. Don't do it.
Phantom 10792.
All right. ZX4R or R7. That was a bit of news that we missed out on that we should have talked about. Was the ZX4R. It was confirmed. The 400cc inline 4 coming to America. Everyone's like jizzing their pants over this.
Is
you
it
heard about
really
this?
confirmed?
It's confirmed, apparently. The patents are there, blah, blah, blah.
Then why isn't it on any of the blogs that I saw?
I don't know. Maybe it's not real official news.
Yeah,
then.
if it's not real official news, it's not going to be on the channels that I look at.
Yeah.
So I'm skeptical on ZX4R. Also, everybody's like, oh, little baby inline 4. No, it's going to suck.
You're going to have to like just sit there trying to rev the nuts off of it for it to move. The R7's way better.
Yeah, no, you don't want a little inline 4. The only reason the little inline 4s from back in the day were so powerful is because they revved the 19,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's a single piston. Well, it's 4 pistons, each one under 100 cc's.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like 100 cc's is nothing.
Yeah. It's like this big.
Yeah.
This little baby piston.
So you don't want that. Nobody does. But everyone has convinced themselves that they do. So we already got a question from Battle. Do we want to go back through?
I don't think so.
We're also running up on time.
Let's do this last one here. Foreskin. Great name. Q&A, I can't decide. I'm a dad, but I love naked bikes and ugly dirt bikes, but I'm caught between a KLR, an SV650, and a dual sport like the DR650S. Please help. Also, any great trails you know of that I can take a dual sport in southern Texas. Mind you, I live down near the Rio Grande Valley.
Camera's going to die.
Okay. You got lots of great trails near you. You could go to Big Bend in that area. There's lots of great stuff. I don't know how far south Texas you are, but there's lots of great stuff out there. KLR, SV, or DR650? You're going to say KLR, right?
Well, so, okay. If you really want to go trail riding, and really just want to go trail riding, the DR650 is the right choice because it's lighter.
It's much lighter. It's about 100 pounds lighter.
But the KLR 650 is a really good bike to do both riding to trails and trail riding.
That's true.
So that's why I like, and that's why I chose the KLR 650. Also, the DR 650 is a ancient motorcycle.
It
is so old.
It's such a dinosaur.
Pretty sure it's air cooled.
Carbureted.
It's carbureted.
Yep. It's got a frame from the 80s.
Yeah. At least the KLR is fuel injected with, liquid cooling, which was really helpful when I was riding it off-road.
Yeah.
You don't want the thing overheating.
Yep.
So if you're going to do some trail riding and that's all you're doing, DR650. If you're going to try to like do some miles, KLR. If you don't care about going off-road, SV.
There you go, folks. All right, we're now going to move on to the portion of our podcast where we are going to look at the funny comments that people have left us. Stick around. Alrighty, folks, welcome to the meme contest or the comment contest here on Yammy Noob on the podcast. Today we're looking at some goofy YouTube comments that the Discord boys found, right?
Yes. I've told them to just go find the most ridiculous, the most silly, the most just YouTubiest YouTube comment ever.
Yeah.
And we're going to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being like just absolute YouTube comment gold.
Yeah.
And then, 0 being this is a normal human being who wrote a cogent full sentence with punctuation, capitalization, and all that good stuff.
I think also, like, if I just like the comment, I'm going to rate it high.
Yeah.
So we'll also do it that way. And then the winner of today's contest is going to get a T-shirt. Is that right?
Yep. They're going to get to choose their style of T-shirt online, and we're going to send it over to them.
Sweet. All right. Well, let's jump in. The Dr. Zero provided us with this comment here. This person said, I got me an over-under 414 thumper bumper for my 08 triple wide fat glide woodhead bobtail with the 3-barrel dumper pumper floop-de-doo. It'll do 747 down the back 40 with overhead underhanded dove gloves. That's how Harley guys sound to me. Excellent.
Yup.
Excellent. That is how they sound to me too, honestly. That's great.
As I've been more and more contemplating the idea of actually getting a Sportster, I start understanding what all of this means. All of this stuff that they're talking about is like all the power adder mods because they want to be this like, modern muscle car, but it's a motorcycle.
Yeah.
But it does sound all ridiculous and nobody cares.
No.
Like, I keep telling Yam that we're going to get the 560 cams,
Yeah.
the Screaming Eagle 560 cams or whatever. And I just see his eyes glaze over. It's like, it's going to make it faster? Yes.
I'm like,
okay,
great.
That's all I care about.
Let's do it.
So, rating for the Dr. Zero.
I liked it. I thought it was a good comment. I thought it was a sardonic little roast on Harley riders. How about a 7.5?
I think a 7.5 is appropriate. Yeah. Spitfire 9703 is next.
Spitfire 9703, this person says, what a nerd talking about shaving his balls. What the hell? Or WTF? I mean, you got to know at this point that every other Yammy Noob video, I'm talking about shaving nuts.
I feel like I honestly don't remember because everything's been so chaotic lately.
Yes.
I don't remember the last time we actually did a Manscaped thing.
It's been a while. We got to film some new ones for the month.
I think they go a lot in lists right now.
Yeah.
That's where they end up living.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's sort of what we've been doing for a while.
It's par for the course, my man. Par for the course.
So, rating for this one.
I think this one's kind of middle of the road. A bit of a 5 on this one.
Yeah, didn't really do much for me.
No.
Seth Loves Two Wheels is next with not that one. That one's freaking biblical.
That's for Bo.
I guess Bo is next.
Okay. All right. Bo here with this comment. I bought this bike on Memorial Day as an impulse buy. I basically traded even in trading my 2019 Indian Chief Dark Horse. Much better interest rate. My monthly payment is $70 a month less. Before I read all this biblical tome here, why do people do this? They just like write this huge comment. Who are you talking to? I don't read this shit. I looked at the Honda 1100 Rebel, but I like the styling of the Nightster better. The bike has its own personality. I used to own a Ducati 696 Monster. Once the rear suspension was set to my weight, I find this bike performs like my Ducati. The front brake is great, but the rear brake is average. I preferred road mode, very smooth. Many people say this bike is to be ridden at 7,000 RPM for best performance. I disagree. I tested the bike in road mode and went from 60 miles per hour to 100 miles per hour in a matter of seconds with a very smooth transition. My only complaint is the engine heat at idle, very warm. My mechanic recommended that I use Motul 7100 full synthetic oil. Oh my God. Oh my God. This bike runs better on this oil and will not break down or overheat compared to regular oil. The bike is 350 pounds lighter than my Indian Chief Dark Horse.
No kidding.
Yeah, when I rode the Tail of the Dragon, it was a blast to ride. The front suspension when you hit a pothole is groin painful. I have added the engine guard, Kiriakin highway pegs, drink holder? New what? New shift peg, passenger seat, Nelson rig, 1060 Tour tail bag. It now looks like a proper cruiser with the performance of a sport bike highlighted there. So is he talking about the new Nightster?
It's got to be the new Nightster that he's talking about.
Yeah, he's like, but I like the styling of the Nightster better, so he went with the Nightster. Interesting. A new breed of Nightster simp.
This has to be some old freaking, trying to get his, groove back old.
He's talking about the type of oil he's using.
Yeah.
He called it out, but he's like, I use the Motul 700 full synthetic oil. Like, bro, what are you on about?
Just you're going to take it to the dealership. Just get the freaking Harley screaming full synthetic.
It doesn't matter what the oil you put in it.
This is I love seeing these though, because it's just some dude sat at a keyboard.
This is a big text. Like, it's a big body of text to write in a YouTube comment. It's wild.
Some commitment there for sure.
The non sardonic part of me is just like, this guy's probably just like, he just wants, to talk to somebody about his bike, like he just wants to, relate to somebody. He's hoping somebody will reply. And he gave a lot of information. He talked about his highway pegs, the oil, the Rebel, the Nightster, his Dark Horse. He's like, somebody's got to have something to say about all this, right? Someone's got to reply to this. So maybe that's it. Yeah. This feels like a very YouTube comment, though.
Yeah, this one was a good one.
It was dense. It was meandering. It was apropos of nothing. I'll give it a 7.
Yeah.
It was very good.
I guess now we're on Seth Loves Two Wheels. I just skipped Bo because my brain is fried.
Seth Loves Two Wheels with this comment from this person saying, after 20 years riding the Rebel 250 and getting used to the power, I bought the Rebel 500.
20 years on a Rebel 250.
A fate worse than death.
Oh my God.
It says, I bought the Rebel 500. Wow, what a bike. I've already overtaken several cars and a scooter. Have added some leather tassels to the handlebars for that cool look. Had to take them off because they kept whiplashing my forearms. Winky face. This can't be real. This can't be real. This is the funniest thing I've seen all week.
I've overtaken several cars and a scooter.
That's what you're supposed to do with the motorcycle. That's what they're supposed to do. A Ninja 400 will do that. 20 years of riding a Rebel 250. 20 years. That's like a punishment. That's like if you go to motorcycle hell, that's what they make you do. Dude, 20 years.
Talking about the Rebel 250, I was going up and down 35 yesterday to go get the new computer and get my bike back and all that stuff. And I saw brand spanking new blue Rebel 250 doing the Lord's work.
Wow.
Commuting up 35.
That's amazing.
I know. And it was just some dude who was commuting on his Rebel 250.
He's the one that loses the comments being like, the MPGs are amazing. F*** you.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, sure.
I can't tell if it's real or not, but this is awesome.
It is awesome. Even if it's not real, if it's ironic, it's awesome. If it is real, it's even better. Yeah. I love it regardless.
I've overtaken several cars and a scooter. That is the best part.
Do we know if Tube wrote this comment? Because it feels like Tube wrote this comment.
Tube definitely could have written this one. All right. So for Seth Loves Two Wheels here.
I love this one. I think an 8.5.
Yeah, this is awesome.
It's a great one.
Breadneck is next.
Here we go. Breadneck, this comment here from this person says, Yam, yes, I keep hearing your praise for Skynet-style computer control. Praise for that? I never said that. But not everyone wants a hunter killer or Terminator running interference on how fast I wish to die. Not to mention owning and ridding both EFI and Carby bikes. I feel more at home on a Carby bike than an EFI. Carby feels more natural and real compared to my EFI, and the digital sounds, caveat my experience is mainly Dirty Harley with EFI versus Harley with Carby. So he's saying that my praise for the Skynet-style computer control is just EFI. I thought he was talking about like self-driving bikes or something.
Yeah, okay. So I did ask you guys, I'm just going to say this to the Discord people. I asked you for context so that we know what these came from. Context is important here.
I'm figuring it out. It's clearly I must have said something about how I like EFI over carbs. I say that every week. It's
got to be like the Skynet style computer controls. Got to be also like the tech on the bikes.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
but not everyone wants a hunter killer or Terminator running interference on how fast I wish to ride. No bike does that.
No.
Literally no bike on sale today controls how fast you wish to ride. You can go as fast as you want on these bikes.
I mean, some of them do have electronic limiters at like 186 miles an hour, but good luck getting there.
Yeah, you're never going to get there on a public road unless you got a Turbo Busa.
Also, carb feels more natural than EFI. There are some where I can give you that, but once you tune an EFI bike,
it feels great.
It is so much better than any carburetor because you never have to tune the thing again.
Yeah, it's just set and forget. That's it. So on stream, they say it was from the Triumph Speed Triple vid. That's a little vague because we made a lot of those. But yeah, clearly this guy didn't like the EFI.
Yeah, that has to be when we were talking about like technological sophistication on there.
Must have been, yeah.
This is just some dude who wants a motorcycle to be like dumb as a rock.
Yeah.
Weird comment. What are you going to give it?
I think this one is another 5, kind of middle of the road.
Full Metal Corgi here.
Skids on stream says, why elderly shouldn't own laptops. Full Metal Corgi with this comment says, what a better way to showcase a Chinese knockoff than to have a Chinese knockoff of Yaminu to present it. Chef Kiss. Ooh, burn. That was from the CFMoto video where Whitney and Josh did it. Damn.
Brutal.
Out here roasting. Holy crap.
Savage.
I thought Whitney and Josh did a good job on that one.
Yeah. They did even better on the second one. They got their groove back together. So
Chinese knockoff of Yami Noob to present it. Damn.
Rough. I mean, I still get who is Spite.
Who is Spite? The one that fucking threw me for a loop is the one I told you about where someone was like, who's Yam? I thought Yam was the big hairy guy. And I was like, what? What the hell? It's finally happened, I guess. I was like, I got to get back in these videos.
All right, Full Metal Corgi here. What are you going to rate it?
I liked it. It was a bit of a roast comment. How about a 6.5?
A 6.5. All right. J Waz 1980 is next with this guy right here.
Didn't blank him out, but it's John W., so who cares? It says, literally grabbed my girlfriend to watch as I thought it was going to be instructional and didn't know I signed up for an 11-minute Royal Enfield commercial. And yes, now I really want one. Take my money, Papa Yam.
We've
an 11-minute Royal Enfield commercial.
Okay, that one's got to be the...
I thought it was going to be instructional.
What the... All right,
It must have been for Derek's first ride because it was our second ride on the Enfield. Maybe that.
That one wasn't 11 minutes.
Wasn't?
That was a long one.
Oh, that was much longer.
I think. At least I'm pretty sure it was long.
Well, regardless, I'm sorry I inadvertently sold you on an Enfield.
I don't think we've ever done like a commercial for them. All of ours have been relatively critical.
Nobody pays us to say anything except Manscaped when I talk about shaving my nuts. But like no manufacturers pay me to say nice things about their bikes. I'd never do that.
No. Okay, so it might have been the second one. The second one was 11 minutes.
Yeah, that was probably it. So now he wants a Royal Enfield after seeing that, which I guess is fair. They are a great beginner bike.
Yeah. So for JWAZ, what are we gonna recommend, and what are we gonna call this?
Middle of the fairway kind of comment. I think a 5.
Yeah. Nikki W is next with.
What kind of screen grab is this? This is like.
This looks like it's a picture.
It's a picture of your computer, and you like tried to PNG it out. This is crazy. Okay. This person says from the UK, so I'm gonna imagine it's all in a British accent. Awful review. This is Honda Goldring review. Too repetitive, and you were over enthusiastic about a sat nav and adjustable windshield. You should have read up on the front suspension beforehand. It would have been interesting for those of us wanting some engineering tech. So you clearly already knew about it, so you're going to get validated. No mention of traction control, ABS, reverse gear.
We definitely did.
We definitely talked about that. Suspension adjustment with the pillion and luggage. However, you did eventually mention it was shaft drive. As usual with these American reviews, all you can do is ride in a straight line, often on the freeway, and say how cool things are and show no real cornering or mountain riding twisties that would be touring. Try to imagine the Swiss Alps or somewhere in the Rockies. For touring bike review, you missed so much. Very disappointing.
Have you looked at Texas on a map?
Yeah. We don't have the Alps.
Whatever, you're from the UK. We can fit your whole country in our state.
Yeah. And most of it is nothing and flat.
There's like we took the Gold Wing down some nice twisty roads down here.
Yeah.
And it was a barge, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
We definitely talked about all of the stuff you mentioned.
Yeah.
That was a long and exhaustive video.
It was like 38 minutes. The best part about this is you clearly can tell this guy already owns a Gold Wing. So it's like, what do you need the review for then? Oh, you want the validation.
Yeah, you just wanted a head pat.
You want a head pat being like, wow, this bike carves up corners in the mountains. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's a fucking Gold Wing.
It goes down the road exactly like you think a Gold Wing would go down the road.
Yeah, it'll
big and ponderous.
It'll take a corner, but it's not a sport bike.
We also both mentioned, because I remember specifically talking about it, how vague the front end feel is because it's a cantilever suspension.
Yeah, we talked about the suspension on it. You know what? You send us an email. We'll give you a refund for your time on the video. I'm so sorry. We'll try to refund you. Oh wait, it was free. So off.
So for Nicky W here, this one,
for a YouTube comment, it's pretty, YouTubey.
Yeah,
I think. What do you think?
This one, let's pull up the Seth Loves on Two Wheels just to see, because it's feeling this.
That's a classic. That's a better one for sure.
But this is really good for a different reason.
It's good for a different reason. Yeah. What did we rate the Seth one?
It was an 8.5. This is like right there.
This is similar. I think I'll give this an 8.
An 8. I agree.
Just like some guy upset about free content on the internet. Like I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah. Last up, we have BD Ralph.
BD Ralph with a lot of comments here. It says the 5 most reliable motorcycle brands. This person says, I like the results because I'm a happy Harley cruiser rider. Is there info about what Harley parts are the most subject to damage and why? And then it's cool to hate on Harleys. I have a Ducati known for reliability issues. That said, my bike is better than yours. Reliability is not what determines a good bike. It matters, but it's not everything. I worked for AAA Tow in 20 years, towed about 90 Harleys and 3 Japanese bikes. End of story. Hello, Harley-Davidson motorcycles are not made in America. Anyone who wants to prove me wrong, erroneous, saludos. They definitely are. And then this comment says Harley is one of the least reliable, then puts it on a top reliability list. Okay, then I know you didn't do the research, but come on, man. Put like 2 minutes of effort into this. Harley's garbage, and we all know it. Enjoy your mobile oil spill. I'm pretty sure this was a long time ago we did this video, but I'm almost positive the video starts off with the least reliable bike and goes all the way up.
Yes.
Because that's how I would structure the video. There's no way I would start with the most reliable one because you want to keep him to the end. So he probably didn't understand it.
Also, if this was a year ago when this photo was taken, which would have been last week, I wrote this script.
Yeah.
So I definitely do not recall putting Harley at the top of any most reliable.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
We definitely didn't say that.
No. It's some guy on here's like a Harley guy who's butthurt because he's like, it's cool to hate on Harleys.
Yeah.
And then I love the guy who's actually the happy Harley rider. It's just some old dude who took his phone like that.
And he's like, I like the results because I'm a happy Harley cruiser rider. That's great. A bit of a melange of comments here. But I think we have to DNF it because or disqualify it because there's too many. Needed to pick one comment. What do you think?
We were looking for one comment.
One comment, BD Ralph. I'm sorry, it's too many of them. So we'll give you a no score.
Yep. Which puts Seth Loves on Two Wheels.
Seth Loves on Two Wheels is number 1. Get a T-shirt.
Yep. And then I feel like Nicky W was so close.
For sure.
With that
for sure.
She deserves one too.
Yeah, we'll get her a T-shirt too. So Seth Loves Two Wheels, send you a T-shirt. Nikki will send you a T-shirt as well. And then in third place as an honorable mention was the Dr. Zero.
Yep.
With that first comment because that was really great. But folks, that's going to wrap up the Yamcast for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. We had a ton of fun doing it. And remember, if you want to join up on the Discord and become a part of the Yamcast, join over at yammynoob.co. Become a member. As little as $5 a month. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later.